Oh, wonderful. You're here. Welcome back to the We Are Rise show, the podcast where we overthink everything so you don't have to, or maybe you should. I don't really care. So grab a drink, lower your expectations, and let's pretend this episode will be better than the next or the last. Welcome in, everybody. How you doing out there? I just want to throw some fun out there, throw a lot of shade out there. What's going on? Let's welcome my co-host, Marshall Smith. How you doing tonight? What's going on?
Pretty good, man.
You're pretty good? Yeah. What's up with the blonde? I mean, dude, you're turning Nordic. So Marshall, as he's aging, he's turning Nordic. Has everybody seen this? You understand it? What do you think about his blonde locks? He just wants to make sure that black people see him as a pure white bread.
Yeah, I got my outfit in the car. Got my sword, got the whole deal, man.
What does that mean?
Watch out there because in the background, you have to watch yourself out there now because it is ramping up.
Yep.
People are getting jumped. Mm-hmm. White people are getting jumped because of their color.
Yeah.
Their own lawyers are saying that we lynched him. This is his lawyer. And you know who I'm talking about. So,
oh yeah, well, look, we'll cover that later. Apparently,
careful.
Mellowhead is appealing this case, or his lawyers are a team because they want to grip and grab. We'll cover that, and that's going to take at least months, up all the way up until a year. He might be dead in prison by then. I'll be honest with you. Unless they just keep him in solitary and he hangs himself, who gives a flying fuck a shit? Garbage human, garbage people. We're just sick of these people. I got a lot more to say. Let me know on Rumble if we're working. What's up, True Terran? Greetings, Naw Dog. How you doing? We had some people who said we had some problems yesterday. I had a great show yesterday. I hope you enjoyed it. Woke Society's just dropped all his people in there, and man, the channel just blew up. I had people all over the place. A lot of people signed up. A lot of great comments that were running my way. It's fantastic, and I appreciate that. And again, thanks again, Scott, because I don't have like a large channel platform. When you combine it all together, it's good numbers, but it's like all these other people, like 10, 20, 30. I mean, it's just it's nice to see all these other new people come in because we have so many other people that support this platform that are family that donate in and out, and it's just fantastic. And they're always here. They're always here, and I appreciate that. You guys are the ones that support this platform. You're the engine that keeps this thing trucking. So I want to thank everybody out there for being here, supporting this with the subs and everything else. It's just great. It's good to have Marshall back. I've been winging it the last couple of days. And, the interesting thing is I noticed that when I go on my harps and rants and stuff like that, I've been hearing from Rumble and Pill.net, Rumble and YouTube about vernacular and certain slang and commentary. And I'm like, listen, I'm playing stuff, videos and stuff. It's not me saying it. And so I had to sit there and push back and say, wait a minute, you don't like that? Well, take it up with the videos that I'm playing. So you're saying I can't use your platform to play certain videos that you don't like some of the syntax that's running afoul? It's not my fucking problem. I don't really give a shit. Well, why are you honing on me? Because they like to go after the little dogs, the little puppies. That's what they want to do. They want to step on little puppies. That's what it is. And I'm like, leave me the fuck alone. Go after other people that say worse shit, that comment on things left and right, that are basically lying to their audiences, that are I'm sick of it. Just re-upload my fucking channel on Sunday. That was a great show. I had to re-upload it. I lost all the views and stuff, and they finally were able to work with me on this. So, yeah, I'm glad we're 5x5 over there. Over on YouTube, pill.net. Tonight's show, Gitmo Flex. It's a Gitmo Flex. It's like, homeless pay to play. Not good. Votes for pocket change. You might as well give them lint because that's as much as they're willing to. I mean, honestly, a quarter, $2, a civil dollar. I mean, it's sad and embarrassing. LA, California, the whole fucking thing is a shit show. I mean, honestly, if there's not a major earthquake like in Escape from LA in the beginning, where it just falls apart and it becomes a penal colony, I don't know what else they're going to do. I can't wait for other escalations to happen and arrests, But listen, this rigged game is built in. SPLC, I wanted to cover it yesterday, but we really got sidetracked about other things. Paid the Klan, paid extremists, paid radicals, zealots, firebrands, you name it. They just paid whatever. They were sleeping with the enemy, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll continue on as we move forward. I want to start the show. I want to say hello, everybody on pill.net. Thank you, Wood USA, for the 219 gold pills. Thank you, my friend. Always here, always supporting the platform, first and foremost, all the time. Thank you, Thea. Always supporting the platform, always dropping good stuff. Thank you for the cookie. Thank you for your commentary last night in the text message. Thank you, Darla L, for the can. You too, another stalwart, just supporting and making the show better with your kind words. And I hope that the tick bite and all these other things have gone away. Let's go, gentlemen. Start your engines. Hogleg, what's up, my friend? How you doing? Thank you for the cookie, the can. What's up, Trump One? How you doing? Good to see you all out there. Patty B is here. Who else is here? There's a ton of people here, and I got to get through it. Yes, Patty B, Darla L. I see everybody out there. Gnaw Dog and True Terran. If you want to help out and support the platform, you could do so on Rumble. You could drop some Rumble rants, comments, questions, and concerns. You could help out Marshall, Ko-Fi.com/SurfDog74, or you can help us out on Pilled, as we normally do. You could buy me at Coffee.com/WeAreRise. Everything goes to this show. Everything goes to this platform. I see nothing of it. It actually pays the expenses. All right, I want to get to a lot of stuff that's just unfurling out, just unwinding out. There's just, Pete Hegseth travels. I wanted to take a deviation. I think the last couple of days have been hot and heavy with, let's just say with the racism, the tribal warfare, and all this domestic stuff that is just, all over the place. And I kind of want to move into another direction and really discuss some of the things that are just, little odd, maybe that are about to bubble up to the surface, that are about to hiccup and stuff. So let's talk about today. This comes from the Straits Times. It's more a little to the right. Pentagon's Hegseth warns Cuba that arms procurement could invite confrontation. So basically, he's over there in Gitmo. He's there. He's doing push-ups and he's doing pull-ups. He's training, exercising. I have to tell you right now, as a Secretary of War, he's probably the best we've had. I can't even remember the last time we had a Secretary of War or even a defense, but let's just say war, that is not only the actual secretary that actually has military experience, that's been in the fight, been in Afghanistan, been in Iraq. This guy is doing push-ups and pull-ups. He's benching 200-300 pounds. It's fantastic. I love it. You should love it too. The guy is totally central casting. And I think one day when this time is up, he'll be a governor of some state. And I think so. And his trajectory at being 40 years old, 41? Oh, he's set on some trajectory to be a president very soon. Yes. Hegseth speaking to U.S. troops during a visit to the U.S. base, he said he hoped for a positive change relationship with Cuba. It would be unwise for the government of Cuba to try to get access to types of weapons that could reach the base or American homeland. Now, there's an argument floating around is that they're trying to black market these goods. That's why there's an embargo on oil and gas and other tankers that could be dropping off weapons and munitions and all these other things from Russia or Iran. Hegseth said without offering more specifics about the weaponry in question, they would be inviting a kind of confrontation. Not only do they not want, but they could not stand. No country on earth can match the capabilities of the United States. Hegseth's visit is the latest high-profile trip to the communist-ruled island by a senior American official as the president of the United States, Donald Trump, steps up pressure on Havana. Marshall, let me ask you this. Is this, and I'm just going to throw out some stuff out there so you can, let's just say, make a caveat about that. I mean, is this a warning to the Cuban government about trying to really procure this, or are we sizing them up? Is this max pressure coupled with escalating signaling? Or is the idea that we've been hearing the acquisition of weapons, whether from Russia or China, is real? I mean, could this threaten the United States, the homeland? I mean, are they about to see certain facilitations happen that will raise the bar? We know that Hegseth is there for a moral boost. So that means in some way the next levels are going to be hot and heavy. So inviting an unwanted guest that they do not want or cannot stomach is going to be at their doorstep. I think with the embargo with oil and gas and many other things, the 60 to 70% collapse ratio of foods and medicine and the rising mortality and also infant mortality is taking a toll on them. But again, as Marco Rubio said, this Gaesa owns 70% of the country. They control the manufacture of everything. So the sanctions of the oil and other things, it doesn't matter. The question is, are they able to get other type of goods and sources out through other marketplaces and other people are participating? Or is this a lock, stop global impasse and embargo? So why are we there? What are we getting ready? Is this another distraction, another divertisement? Because as we're seeing with Iran right now, they're getting pummeled. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a flex. It's also a morale booster, and he's kind of planting the flag over there. Mm. I mean, that's what it really. And like we've talked about many other times, we don't know how far ahead we are already on this.
Right.
This could be more just publicity that we're just seeing.
So you're saying the possibility we're already there. Things are already happening.
I think it's just even Iran. I don't care what they say about Iran.
Well, President Trump revealed today, he revealed today, we've been stealing their oil. We allowed 70 ships to pass through the Strait of Hormuz let's just say unencumbered, that weren't hit because the whole shoreline has been, I guess, decimated. And so go ahead, continue. But it seems to me that a lot of the kayfabe and necessity and all this other stuff is just stroking each other's nuts here. Because listen, I think right now everything that we're seeing is already done. And we're just spinning our wheels thinking, oh, look at this. Look at their fireworks. Oh, my God, this is spectacular. Oh, my God, they're hitting this and this. You know, and we'll get to the other things that President Trump dropped with Dan Scavino, but please continue.
Yeah, I think that it's, with Iran, it's really all of them. Mm-hmm. He's allowing them to try to give them a little space, a little face saving. So save your face. We're not going to totally humiliate you, but we're going to show the people that we're moving forward. Instead of just saying, you're done, you're screwed, and making them look like complete losers. He's giving them I think he's giving them a little bit of cushion. And I think that it's really about the timing and the rollout to the public that it has to be just done in a certain way.
Right.
And I think that's kind of where we're really at. Just like Venezuela.
Roll out. Yeah, I think so. I think, we're playing catch up here. I think these things they're already nixed. They're already baked into the cake. The cake's already been done. And we're just playing catch up. We're just playing catch up. And we're all pulling our hair out, scratching our eyes. Inflation's up 4.3. Trump's like, who cares? Doesn't matter. Gas is 90. It's dropping. People are freaking out. And more people are supporting Trump candidates that he picked. I mean, the fact that Lindsey Graham won over 60%, boggles my mind. And you know what? On X, the people that think that they wholly control MAGA, you can fuck off and die. Just because I have an opinion about a rhino cuck senator, okay, who is besties with a guy that is sleeping with the fishes named John McStain and is just mouthing off about warmongering and all this other stuff. And if I don't like this guy, I'm a Flynn operative. Fuck you. Fuck you and die. Okay? I can't be my own person. I can't have my own thoughts about this and how I feel. I'm supposed to accept this. Even Trump went back, a year or two ago and saying, yeah, I'm at fault because I'm the reason why Lindsey Graham gets reelected over and over again. Yeah, I think so. He's gotten reelected twice because of President Trump. What does that tell you? It's a menage a trois of bullshit. Of combined, he's totally under the thumb of this president, totally controlled, uses him at his will as a meat puppet and to vote his way. That's why he's there. Whether you like him or not, I don't really care. And all the people that are like, oh, Mark Lynch and stuff. I don't live in South Carolina. I didn't vote for Mark Lynch. But, if I probably was living there, I probably would have, because you have to look at it from how we see things. It's embarrassing. 76 Patriot over here on Rumble says, hey, Brett, do you think all those earthquakes near there could be related, near Cuba, near Florida, the Gulf and stuff? Yeah, I think something's off. I think there is something off. And that was a 6.1. So I know I had some issues and stuff. I don't know if it reverberated back, but I think there is something amiss there we need to get into. Moving on. Justin, Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth just dropped truth nukes to our troops in Gitmo. This is a morale boost. Fantastic. This guy is great.
The homeland.
This guy is great.
We're taking back our hemisphere.
Yes, he said.
There was something called the Monroe Doctrine.
Yeah.
It was ignored for far too long by presidents that wanted to pretend like our backyard didn't matter. And then a president showed up and added the Roosevelt corollary to the Monroe Doctrine. And that president was Teddy Roosevelt, because he understood the importance of the hemisphere. And then foolish politicians over time let it fade. We got distracted by other things all around the world, many of which are important. Americans did great things. This president came in and say, not only is the Monroe Doctrine alive, and not only does the Roosevelt corollary live, but now we have the Don Roe Doctrine, the Trump corollary to the Monroe Doctrine, that the territory terrain in our hemisphere is key terrain. Take the Panama Canal, where we're working there to ensure that both sides of the canal are secure, that our ships flow freely, that we have more Marines and more soldiers, a new jungle school there, key terrain. We want to make sure foreign adversaries could not control that. Look at Venezuela and Nicolas Maduro, who thought he could flaunt the United States of America. And then he found out in about 45 minutes in the middle of the night. The most heavily fortified compound inside their most heavily fortified base inside their capital city, and Russian air defenses and Cuban guards were no match for them. Our operators, our rangers, those that do incredible things. In fact, there was a Medal of Honor, as you all saw, that came out of that engagement. What a pilot did in keeping his men safe while landing that aircraft and ensuring it landed back safely. Things of the history books. History still happens today. History still happens in the eyes and the mind of all of you. And then you look at Cuba, where we are, where the United States of America has been for over 100 years and where we will remain in key terrain. And that government has decisions to make about what kind of reforms they want to pursue. It's not my job to make that decision for them. It's our job at the War Department to be prepared for whatever our Commander-in-Chief asks us to do on behalf of defending the American people. It would be unwise for the government of Cuba to try to procure or get access to the types of weapons that could reach this base or the American homeland. They would be inviting the kind of confrontation not only do they not want, but they could not stand. No country on earth can match the capabilities of the United States of America. We seek no enemies. We seek no foes. We're a great friend, and we hope soon we can be a friend of the leadership of the government of Cuba.
All right, that's enough. I think he said a lot in that. Your thoughts? Do you think in some way he's setting them up? He's sizing them up. He's getting ready because there's a conflict that's going to take place. We were about to go in, or we already have gone in, and we haven't been told about it, as 76 Patriot Girl is putting out there, the possibility that earthquake. Because listen, on Monday, okay, I had brownouts. It felt like there was a fucking ghost in the house. I had internet going out. I don't know what happened. And I wasn't the only one in my neighborhood. I'm in a townhome, so there's other people who experience nutsy things. So I'm just like, shut it all down. I don't know what was going on. So I don't know if that is connected to, as 76 Patriot Girl says. I have no fucking idea. But something is amiss. Something is awry. Something is going on. Something is happening. And there might be engagement there. And we're waiting to catch up. Because that's what it is. We're in a 24-hour, 48, 72 window when President Trump tells us something. So why is he there, the Secretary of War, sizing everybody up, letting people know it's happening? Is this just, stoking the fire? Is this just what? Is this a morale boost? Is this just propaganda? What is he doing? What are we seeing here right now? Something is now afoot.
Yeah, the one thing I saw in that video was I saw in those men the look of respect and determination. And I think, as you just mentioned, he's there for more than just this morale thing.
Yep.
Absolutely, he has been in meetings with their leadership and with them, the soldiers themselves, on all of this, because something's getting ready to go down.
Yep.
Something officially or whatever, but it looks like we're gearing up for at least the
summer of blockbuster movies. You had Venezuela early on. You have Iran going on, which, basically right now, I think the Iran thing, we're about to see this come to a head. I really do think the exercise of fertility that a lot of people are suggesting, I think this whole thing is now going to be what? It's going to be sidebarred out. Now we're going to introduce another blockbuster, and that is the Cuban War, the Cuban takeover, the infiltration, the invasion. I mean, this is the next movie blockbuster that's happening that you're going to see, and that we're basically just setting this up in some way. Just like Ukraine is gone, no one even cares, no one even talks about it. Does it even have? Is there a war going on? All I know is we're still spending money there in some way. I don't even know what's going on. We don't even talk about it. No one even cares about it. President Trump does. I mean, honestly, it's only Congress that sends them money. So you have that's just completely off another continent, and then we're sitting here discussing what? And then Iran thing is like every other day a projection. And here we are now with something that is about to move in and something else move out. Just like Venezuela moved out, Iran moved in, now Cuba's going to move in, and Iran's going to dip out. Yes, that's what's going to happen.
Greenland's going to pop up sometime.
Greenland's going to pop up. I think what is is it the Maldives island? The island where we have a base over there? The island that President Trump wants to purchase, that the UK wants to sell to, I believe, China. We're going to take over. There's so many things that are going to be coming into play. Let's play this right now. President Trump reveals the United States has been taking millions of barrels of oil at night during the Iran blockade. Wow.
I can say it now.
Uh-oh.
Do we've been taking out millions of barrels of oil? Nobody knows it. You know who doesn't know about it? Iran, until right now.
Wow.
We took out the other night 22 ships late at night with no lights because they don't have any radar because we blasted the crap out of it. We took out, that's why oil's $85 a barrel. I mean, you take a look. Remember when I did this, I said, look, the one bad thing will be we hit the best economy we've ever hit. And I said to my people, I had Scott, I had Howard, I had Pete, I had Todd in the room. I said, the one thing we have to do now, we had just hit the highest stock market in history, highest 401ks in history. Everything was going well. And I said, I hate to do this to you guys, but Iran's going to have a nuclear weapon very soon. We have to go and attack. So we hit them with the B-2 bombers, which took a lot of courage. It was totally successful. We buried it, very hard to get. But now we had to make the second move. And I said, the bad part is the stock market will go down by a lot based on predictions of.
All right. So basically, he's just giving us a foreboding and forewarning in some ways that the clandestine operations that are happening while we're preoccupied with the notion that this Iran war is not settled, everything's off the, everything's off the chain. It's not really working out in our favor as the media is painting out. We're doing things behind the scenes. Or we just say in some way, can you not believe that we've already gotten this Iranian dust or this procurement of Iranium, whatever, all right, whatever it is, cesium, magnesium, whatever it is, that we have this type of, let's just say, I don't even know what it is, enrichment, that we have it, we got it through operations that are happening on the cover of darkness, clandestine, JSOC, all these other things. Can you argue in some way that there are things that are happening behind the scenes we're not seeing, and then all this other stuff is just, kayfabe theater, blah, blah, blah. You hit us. I double tap you there. I hit you. You double tap me there. I mean, look, and we know puts this out there. And, he says he was in the military. He's putting this out there. This has happened at I believe this happened at, there he goes, 1:25 a.m. Look at this. We hit 4 air defense systems, 2 radar sites, 3 missile launch sites, 6 drone launchers, 4 launchers, 1 command center. The strongest response yet. Okay. That happened, just recently at 1:25 our time, Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what that time is over there in Iran, but I thought that was, breathtaking in some way. Here's another composition for Fox News putting, let's put it this way. They're putting this out there and suggesting that President Trump has been in some way ready to hand Iran a double fist of, let's just say, pain and suffering. Again, I believe all this stuff is kayfabe. I believe this is all bloviating. This is all bluster. This is all blather. This is a lot of braggadocio. This is a gas canard. And it is. President Trump exclusively told Trey Yinks in the U.S. is nearing a decision to launch additional strikes. But those strikes already happened.
Got off the phone with
so they already happened. Are we going to accelerate the strikes? Is this going to be further strikes? Because and we know put it out at 1:25 this morning. So now we're at 7:40, 7:52 in the morning. Are we going to accelerate this, or is this just more distraction, divertisement, and theater?
Tells Fox News that the Iranian drone lodged in between
the
2 pilots in this helicopter. They were flying very low. And
that is an amazing story. That the drone flew right into the helicopter, which brought the Apache down, didn't explode. But yet these 2 pilots were able to survive this, go down in the strait, be picked up by a drone vessel. Like, we actually have an unmanned drone mini vessels that are able to safeguard to go into hostile waters without being disturbed or perturbed or injuring and sacrificing other Navy sailors, Marines, JSOC, what have you, Navy SEALs in this matter, to pick up people that have been left into the fire. I think unbelievable. It's a movie. It's a movie happening. It'll be on Netflix and Prime next year. I mean, honestly, this whole storyline is just completely unbelievable. And if you don't sit back, take it in like I do, all right? Take it in. Just shower with it and tell me what we're seeing right now is not an orchestration, not a facilitation, not some type of, I don't know, deception. But this is just unbelievable to believe that the narratives that are out there that are getting people so hyperbolic, so people caught up with the, all the stuff, I don't know what to say about this, Marshall. Your thoughts?
I think I kind of agree with Hogleg in the chat. We already went to Iran and got Stargate, and I'll add, now it's in the backyard of the White House.
You know what? That's funny. The pilots had a bottle ready for the baby drone, Hogleg. Where did you say this? I'm looking at this right now. He said what? I mean, you're saying, you're funny, Hogleg. You said that
we went to Iran and got Stargate, and I'm saying it's in the backyard of the White House now.
That's funny. I thought we got Stargate from Iraq. I thought we got Stargate from Iraq, but that's funny with the whole discovery of Gilgamesh. Curious Cat, thank you for the cookie. I'm late. Trump won. Thank you for the cookie. Hogleg, thank you for the can. Go ahead.
They had the flux capacitor.
Oh, okay.
So we had the final part. So we're good.
We had to go back to the future to move into the past to get that from, I don't know, what is it? 2002? Okay. So President Trump says he puts out a 90s TV clip in an apparent message to Iran, total disaster. Again, are we seeing this is a movie within a movie. The mission is proportional response, unjustified Iranian discretion, CENTCOM said. The strikes hit radar, air defense sites are in this. Let me show you the clip. Where is the clip? Okay. So okay. Is this the clip? No, I don't think this is the clip. All right. Here it is. I got to put this out there because you got to watch this.
His code name, sir.
What is the virtue of
all right.
proportional?
What's the virtue? Is there a virtue in killing people?
Sorry.
What is the virtue of a proportional response? Why is it good? They hit an airplane, so we hit a transmitter, right?
This is an interesting discussion.
Sir, in the case of Pericles,
They hit a barracks, we hit 2 transmitters.
that's roughly it. Yes, sir.
This is what we do. I mean, this is what we do.
Yes, sir. It's what we do. It's what we've always done.
Well, if it's what we do, if it's what we've always done, don't they know we're going to do it?
Sir, if you turn your attention to Pericles 1.
I have turned my attention to Pericles 1. It's 2 ammo dumps, an abandoned railroad bridge, and a Syrian intelligence agency.
Those are 4 highly rated targets, sir.
But they know we're going to do that. They know we're going to do that. Those areas have been abandoned.
You hear that? They know we're going to do that. This whole thing is scripted. So President Trump hit all these things as a retaliation. Hey, we're just letting you know we're going to hit this. They said, okay, no problem. Hit these areas, and then and we know, just put all these installations up. So this is a movie within a movie. They already know where we're going to hit. There's nobody going to be around. This is just target practice. Continue on.
And it for 3 days now. We know that from the satellite, right? We have the intelligence.
Sir.
They did that, so we did this. It's the cost of doing business. It's been factored in, right?
Mr. President.
Am I right, or am I missing something here?
No, sir. You're right, sir.
Then I ask again, what is the virtue of a proportional response?
It isn't virtuous, Mr. President. It's all there is, sir.
It is not all there is.
Sir, Admiral
Excuse
Fitzwallace.
me, Leo. Pardon me, Mr. President. Just what else is
The
there?
disproportional response. Let the word ring forth from this time and this place, gentlemen. You kill an American, any American, we don't come back with a proportional response. We come back with total disaster.
Okay, so he's sending a message. He's basically saying, hey, look, we're not going to, fiddle around, play games here and stuff in some way. If you hurt any of our sailors, soldiers, or anybody, whether in bases with our allies across the Middle East spread out, if you continue to in some way flex in this matter, we're just going to obliterate you. We don't care for the casualties of war. No one asked, where did all that weaponry go that we're supposed to go to the people and arm them? And now we're at this point, is like, we're making threats that we're just going to obliterate the capital of Iran. Get out while you can, because this is going to be destructive. I mean, at this point, what is the proportional response of murdering as many people as you can to sacrifice 1 or 2 Americans? I think that's going to be an argument that's going to come up. We already lost 12 to 13 American soldiers, sailors, whatever, Navy men. Is that proportional to leveling Iran, the state capital, Tehran, and killing as many people as possible in the process? Is that our job? Is that our response? That, hey, look, it's collateral damage. Get out. We're forewarning you. Is that what we're seeing? Is that the heightened response in some way? But yes, I agree with that sentiment. You kill an American, we're not going to do things that we normally did to fix the problem. We're going to do things differently entirely to make sure you bleed and you bleed and you bleed and you bleed. And I believe that's what President Trump is saying. Now, how they bleed is going to be what? Facilitated out, orchestrated out. It's going to be demonstrated in such a way that we're supposed to understand it. But we don't have any facsimile of what's really taking place with Iran right now. We don't. I got to move on. Your thoughts as we move on.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely being played out. We're attacking, and that's and we know that was a great point. We're hitting places that they already know that they're empty,
right?
And this whole thing, I feel like
I don't think he was saying that. He just said that the amount of places we're hitting. I was suggesting, are they empty based upon that type of discussion? He wasn't saying that, and we know it's pretty good at what he does. He's just saying, oh my God, we're hitting these places, but not taking into consideration, are they empty? Are they facilities that we already know where they're going to hit, and they just left them empty, and it looks good. It looks presidential. It looks political, and it doesn't mean shit. So it's like tit for tat. Or are we just going off the reservation so deeply that we're going to just change the landscape of how we're going to change what we do proportionally or disproportionately.
Yeah, and it's all part of the rollout. People can digest it, they can understand it, and they can only understand the simple things that they see on like Fox News or whatever.
Right.
They can see this, okay, no harm, no foul, and then we finally get to the point we're trying to get to, which is, who knows, coming soon to a theater near you, I guess, right?
Right. So homeless paid to play. We're going to get into that. Vote for pocket change. I got a lot. Homeless paid to vote. This comes from Slay News. I had one from Zero Head. I can't do all of it. I have more videos, but they were paid to vote for Democrats in an LA mayoral election. New allegations of election fraud are emerging out of LA after several homeless individuals have spoken out to reveal that they were paid to cast ballots for Democrats in the city's mayoral election. The individuals said they were paid to vote for their incumbent mayor, Karen Bass, or Democrat Socialist LA City Councilwoman, Nitha Raymond. The explosive claims surfaced in a series of viral videos, which I'll show you later, posted by TikTok user Lance Spencer Pratt, or Lands End Spencer Pratt. The popular social media influencer interviewed homeless residents living on LA Skid Row and about their experience during local elections. The interview comes as a scrutiny that continues to grow California's election system, ballot harvesting practices, and ongoing federal investigations into alleged voter schemes. The homeless residents describe being paid for votes. I'm going to get to the videos. A homeless woman alleged that she was given $2 in exchange for voting for her career Democrat Mayor Bass. So you couldn't give this homeless person $20, $10, $5. You gave them $2. I want my $2. Remember that movie? Well, they came out of here all the time, she claimed. Another woman said the individuals handed her a ballot, instructed her how to vote, and paid her $5. Oh, so we're increasing the payment plan. Several other homeless people and individuals shared a similar story, claiming they were approached by activists and organizers who directed them and how to complete ballots. One man alleged he was not even registered in LA, but was still instructed how to fill election paperwork. Honestly, I can't hate California enough. I don't hate the people. I don't. I hate the politicians. I hate the Democrat-controlled attitude and how they basically manipulate the system. It breaks my heart. For many of the people that live in California, that I'm sure that there are great cities. I've been to San Diego and San Francisco or North. That it was fantastic. But I feel bad for the people in LA. But until you have a course correction, this kind of nonsense is going to take on. And I don't want it to be totally like deconstructed in a way. No, it has to be deconstructed. It has to be broken down into so many levels. You have to remove the rot and the filth. Number one, you have to get rid of all these laws and all this stuff that is embedded into the system that precludes Republicans or anybody that's against the system in some way. They built it so much in. We should learn from this artifice. But see, the reason why we don't learn from this artifice is because we are not these people. They're complete cheaters. They are. They can't win elections without cheating, without betting this system. They're scum. And now they got to use Skid Row zombie drug addicts to get them elected.
You live in Skid Row?
I live in Skid Row.
And then did they come down here and try and pay you to vote?
Yes.
On a ballot?
Yes.
How much they pay you?
$5.
$5. Did they throw in a blowjob? I mean, honestly, the allegations have fueled the growing concerns about ballot harvesting, election integrity in California. Skid Row under growing scrutiny. And there's investigations by the DOJ. It's going to get ugly. This whole thing's going to blow up. So give it some time. Let this thing percolate. Let this thing settle, because before November, it's going to get ugly. There are going to be people arrested. You want arrest? I want arrest. According to the Lane Spencer Pratt, I don't even know how to fucking pronounce it. Homeless residents suffering from addiction, mental illness, and extreme poverty are vulnerable to manipulation by political operatives seeking votes. The Democrat political machine wants to keep Skid Row exactly the way it is. Yes, because they profit off it. They make what? Ballots out of thin air. They get smiley faces on their signatures. The account further argued that the vulnerable individuals are being exploited for political purposes rather than being helped toward recovery and stability. Yes, of course. You want zombies running the streets. Just get their smiley face, their signature, and it's okay. My zombie voted for me. The controversy intensified after Los Angeles mayor candidate Spencer Pratt pointed out what he described as a suspicious late election vote swing. Yes, we all know this. It's getting ugly. A net swing of more than 43,000 votes on Tuesday. And yes, 43,000 votes, huh? Where have I seen that number before? Interesting that is being said. I believe that Spencer Pratt has been put in there as the central casting anomaly to what? Orchestrate and facilitate and to what? Demonstrate the voter fraud at the local municipality levels. And I think that he's done a wonderful job at doing it, and all eyes are on it. According to claims circulating online, Rahman previously presented $600,000 check to St. Joseph's Center in Skid Row. The facility allegedly had thousands of voter registrations connected to its addresses, despite reportedly having no residential beds available. The claims a few calls for greater scrutiny of voter registration and ballot collection practices. I'm going to leave it there. I got so much more to go. Your thoughts? You want to opine on this?
Yeah, that lady there, she said she got bought off. She's wearing one of those damn Chinese wigs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, shit, all they have to do is give out wigs and watermelons and they're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's all they're doing. I mean, and I agree with you, Brett, that this guy Pratt, he's there as a lightning rod, so to speak.
Well,
he's
yeah,
probably documenting all this
central
shit.
Casting, he is there.
I think he's documenting it.
No, I know. Yeah, it's the documentation. It's all there for a lot of different reasons. And how the United States government, President Trump, his team, all these other people are overseeing that. The DOJ has now come out and said there are multiple investigations of the LA mayoral election, and it's going to go in deeper. Darlo, gift that they can. Piglosi is probably running the show in California with her nephew and past. So corrupt. I don't know who is or not, but we're going to find out very soon after this is all settled, because they're saying this is still going to be entangled. It's still going to be entwined. Let's play this. I got to move on.
And then would they come down here and try and pay you to vote?
Yes.
On a ballot?
Yes.
Oh, how much they pay you?
$5.
Oh, and they said, here, come and vote for these candidates?
Yes, sir.
They told you who to vote for?
Yeah.
Oh. So they told you to vote for Karen Bass or Cynthia Rahman?
Karen Bass.
So you vote for Karen Bass?
Yeah.
For $5?
Yeah.
Did you vote?
Yeah.
Oh, you did for Karen Bass?
Yeah. Karen Bass. Right. That's her last name, Bass?
Karen Bass, yeah. Or Nithya Rahman?
Karen.
Karen? They told you to vote for Karen?
Yeah. They had to sign a little thing.
That's, and how much they pay you?
It's like $2.
$2? To sign off on a thing to vote for her?
Yeah.
So they say, oh, do you want to vote for Karen or Nithya? Or they just really just tell you to vote for Karen, huh?
But it was really vote for her, man. They gave you an optional choice, but they tell you who they want you to vote for.
Or they tell you who you want to vote for. So like, yo, we'll give you $2, but you got to vote for one of these people.
Well, you know, I'm a barterer, man. So I got $4.
You got what?
Art.
$4?
$4.
$4? Oh.
Yeah, I don't, you know. Since I'm voting your way, can I get a plate?
That's
you know
businessman.
Yeah. And so $4, they're like, hey, you got to vote for one of these candidates, not Spencer. You do Karen or Nithya.
Yeah, well, it was that was the best one for me. I mean, that was the one I was suggested for. I don't give a fuck.
Got it. And you're like, yo, give me $4 and I'll do it.
Yeah, why not?
And so they do this for everybody out here?
Yeah, they come out here all the time.
How often do they come down here?
Probably like 3 times a week.
3 times a week?
You know,
to get the ballots?
Yeah.
Wow. And so you know other people too that voted too?
Actually, anybody that's registered.
Yeah.
You know, half the motherfuckers down on parole or probation, but you know it is. You know.
Man, it's crazy. That's you be living
Life
on.
is today, man.
What happened?
The way it is down here now.
It's the way it is down here. I mean, honestly, the guy bartered for an extra $2 to get $4. I mean, it's embarrassing. It's sad. Alpha Omega pill. I want Negro news. Well, you just saw some in the Negro news.
It's coming.
And it's all over the place. You need to understand what is happening. The cheat and the steal and the grift and the graft is right in your fucking face. And they think you're stupid. The media. That's why Trump walked out on Welker. You fucking cunt. You walked out. You know why he walked out? Because you could see it. And now it's going to be exposed. All these people are going to have fucking cum shots from Trump on their face because you know what? They're going to be sucking it because they're going to lose this in the end. They're not going to be able to handle the fact is that he wins again. He proves his point. It's embarrassing. It's disgusting. And it bothers me that we are here at this again. Where is 2020 election? Right. Well, you got to slowly walk this back. You got to slowly, incrementally, all right, walk it, okay, until you got to crawl to show, hey, they're paying what? Crack addicts, zombies, meth heads, drug addicts, homeless people, $2, $3, $4, $5 to vote. And a blowjob. They're doing this in such a way right in your face. And you wonder why Spencer Pratt is losing or has lost. But I digress because I think something is afoot and something is coming away. Let me move on here. Here's something I saw this because I'm going to move in it. This comes from the Santa Monica Observer, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody is from that area? I know Curious Cat. I know True Terran. You guys are Californians. Let me know where you are with Santa Monica Observer. Someone is collecting homeless ballots. Look at the date, June 7th. All of them are Mark Naitha Rahman. That's June 7th. Do you understand that? Eyewitness accounts and vote data from June 2026 LA mayoral primary paint a disturbing picture of how late mail-in ballot drops. This is the Santa Monica Register. If you're from LA or outside the area, if you know Santa Monica, please chime in. The race for mayor shifted from Spencer Pratt towards Raymond to finish second to make November runoff. Pratt himself says a net swing of more than 43,000 votes since Tuesday and 43,000 votes. Huh? Where have I seen that number before? Probably nothing to see here. And then showing a report that LA has 43,000 homeless people. Boom! Jennifer Callan says she spent time in LA County Ballot Processing Center and has posted a detailed thread about what she personally witnessed and what was told by staff. Her tweets, you can believe it or not, reveal a system seemingly designed for minimal scrutiny. Signatures only need to be 40% accurate. 40% accurate? Really? This is a setting that the machines are set for LA County called SAV. On the last two ballot drops, disproportionately supported Rahman. And are these coming from specific neighborhoods since they are what? An anomaly. Are you listening to this? This is a great article. If you are unable to sign, you can make a mark like a dot or a slash instead of signing. A witness then signs below. When she is asked how to verify marked ballots, I asked them how they verify these signatures. Turns out they simply don't. One witness or on a witness signatures, well, you must check the witness signatures, right? No, we don't. Hypothetical fraud tests. So what if I stole a ballot, made a dash by the person's name, and signed my name? Well, you shouldn't do that, but in theory, it would be counted. What? What in the holy fucking hell? Volume of such ballots. How many of these marked ballots get in per election? We don't know. Callahan summed up plainly, ripe for fraud. It's all fraud. The whole election season and system is fraudulent. It is by nature to be what? Fraudulently to receive votes, to change votes, to flip the ballots. It is set up to make sure the Democrats win 100% of the time. That matches data showing massive overcounting in DTLA. Post analyzing the late mail in surge highlight that Rahman's expected jump came in large part from ballots tied to Skid Row. Tens of thousands of ballots for unhoused voters are mailed to what? Central addresses rather than individual locations, creating an environment where third parties can easily collect, fill out, and return them in bulk. California law, and this is it, makes it possible and legal thanks to a 1985 appellate court ruling in Collier versus County Santa Barbara. The California Court of Appeals held that homeless individuals have the right to register and vote even without traditional fixed addresses. How is that even possible? If you are homeless living on the street and there is no fixed address, okay? It's garbage. Garbage. How about send it to a P.O. box? We don't even do that. We just made it be like, hey, it doesn't matter. If you don't have a traditional address, we want to what? Make sure that we rig this in, that if you're walking on the street, you're living on the street, well, that's your residency. They can use a descriptive location, a park, a shelter, an intersection, or a similar spot as their voting residence, as long as it allows for precinct assignment and mail delivery. The court ruled it would be patently unjust to deny them the vote simply because they lack conventional home. You know what? This needs to go to the Supreme Court. It needs to be challenged in some way. We need to, in some way, define that the idea of residency, which is toggled with what? Voting, is what? In Florida, all right? You not only need an ID, you can have your voter card, but the idea now is that we've become so proliferated, it is now so expansive that a P.O. box is not going to count. So in California, it's like, hey, you can live on the street and you can assign whatever. You can assign the address that you're fucking what? Squatting next to as your fucking residency. It is absolutely deplorable and embarrassing, and they think you're fucking stupid. California is so rotten and crooked. I'm so saddened by what I see, and I can't wait. I can't wait. Look, move the National Guard in. I mean, honestly, at this point, what difference does it make? What difference does it make? I mean, we can no longer continue on. Something has to give. And yes, I want to see it give. I want to see it burn by both ends of this stick, Marshall.
You know, more and more, I believe that Pratt is definitely something that this is all planned out.
Mm-hmm.
Trump deliberately,
Trump
deliberately did not endorse him. Trump deliberately did not do rallies for him.
Well, first of all,
promote him. None of that.
Hold on a second. He also deliberately, Spencer Pratt did not hail MAGA. He avoided MAGA completely and kept himself completely isolated from MAGA. So continue.
That was to keep them off track that he actually is.
Bingo. Yep.
You know, and so now we're going to round him up. I hope this is true because it seems like we've been down this road numerous times over the years. But over the years, hell, things take a long time to happen. Look how long it took for us to get here. 60, 80, 75, 100 years. And we're trying to get out of that now. So it makes sense that is what is going on. That he's just there as a collector. He's collecting the bills. He's collecting the numbers. And there you go.
All right, so we'll move off of this real quickly, and so you can understand the grift, the graph, everything that is happening, the arrangement, everything that is basically unfurling out about this whole facilitation and orchestration about what? And someone went to jail over this.
A woman from Marina Del Rey now accused of paying people on Skid Row to register to vote.
Yeah, federal prosecutors announced these charges this morning. Conan Nolan is here with details of this alleged scheme.
Yeah, you know, it's a bigger issue because back when President Donald Trump first was elected to office, he insisted he could have won California and had it not been for the rampant voter fraud in the state. Well, there's no evidence of that. The administration has seized on isolated cases, such as one today from a woman from Marina Del Rey, who they say uses the signatures of homeless people to make money.
tell us what happened in court today?
Outside federal court in Santa Ana, 64-year-old Brenda Lee Brown Armstrong, following an initial court appearance in a voting fraud case.
The petitioner, Brenda Brown, hands cash money to the homeless person.
The federal action stems from this video made by conservative activist James O'Keefe, who appeared to find Armstrong and others she allegedly employed paying homeless people to register to vote and then sign various petitions.
The petitioners instruct the homeless to enter made-up addresses like Pinocchio Lane.
Where do I put his address? Yeah, look it up. You live on Pinocchio Lane?
Oh, good. Prosecutors claim Armstrong, for the past 2 decades, has been a signature gatherer, that she was paid upwards of $10 per signature for ballot measures and recall petitions.
Wow.
And that Skid Row was a target-rich environment. Assistant U.S. Attorney General Harmeet Dillon.
To have homeless people first sign the voter registration forms and then sign the signature petitions. And she did this in exchange for and other items of value.
That's a violation of federal law. Prosecutors say Armstrong has agreed to a plea deal where she will admit to 1 felony count of paying another person to register to vote, which could result in a maximum 5 years in prison. U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley today used the case as an example of voter fraud in California, which he claims Democrats in Sacramento have refused to investigate.
Nothing. They have no interest.
Tomorrow, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeal will hear a request from the Trump administration for the state to turn over its voting records, names, addresses, party affiliation, even driver's licenses of all California voters.
To make sure that only legal citizens are voting in our elections.
Several lower courts have ruled against that effort, saying the move violated the U.S. Constitution, which entrusts the time, place, and manner of elections to states and not to Washington or the president. The founders made it clear they didn't want the federal government to be in the business of counting the ballots. California Secretary of State Shirley Weber has also pushed back, saying the state does take voter fraud.
You know what? Fuck you. And you know what? The founding fathers, if they knew that the elections were being rigged, do you think they would allow third worlders, the British, or any other empire to come in to, let's just say, overturn our elections as our country is what? Growing, is expanding? Do you think they wanted outsiders to be involved? Hell, they didn't even want blacks involved or women involved. They were laying the groundwork for a reason. Hogleg, thank you for the cookie, and the cookie in some way. Now, I'm not sitting there saying black people shouldn't vote. What I'm suggesting is in some way, you need to understand, all right, the facilitation and the invasion and all these other things that are precipitated outside of illegal ballot harvesting. I'm not talking about Americans, not black, white, and stuff. I'm talking about what? Third world migrant scum that have snuck in through the back door, that they have made sure that they can have some type of what? Arbitration to get an ID, to get an address, to make sure the validity of their vote is natural and real. And you know what? They don't want to turn over that because they know it's not real. It's a fucking scam. Why are we sending in the National Guard? Just fucking send in the fucking Marines. Send it all in. Just shut it down. Shut it all down. I don't know what we're going to do at this point. I really don't. But it seems to me in some way, something is afoot, something is amiss, but they're ready. They're facilitating it. There's U.S. attorneys out there. They're monitoring it. Is this going to come close to the election? Is it going to be before September, around August when it gets a little hot? Maybe. We shall find out. Let me put this up there as we continue on. So
if you look at
hold on a second. I'm sorry. Hold on a second. And then so I want to say this. So here it is. U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley is letting everyone know, this comes from X22, that the charges are incoming, ladies and gentlemen, approximately 1 to 2 months away for people caught manipulating California elections. So we're in June. We haven't even come to the summer solstice, which is the 21st. Okay, we haven't even reached this point. So let's take the time frame from now into what? I said August. So they watched the cheating happening in real time. The USPS barcodes, the GPS telemetry, and the timestamp sequencing across logistics networks. Every ballot movement left a digital footprint. Every reroute left a pattern. Marshall, your thoughts. Sorry, I don't want to. I just have to get that in before you can make your own observation.
Yeah, when you see the way that they're doing this and you see the way, look at the people that run the elections. What's the old saying that they said back in the long? That it's not who wins, it's not the votes you get, it's who counts the votes. Remember that?
Right. Yep.
That's saying.
It's always who counts the votes.
Yeah. And so you look at
now it's who facilitates the votes.
Who are the people that count the votes? Look at the crowd. You've got a bunch of minority women, mostly. All right. That's true in probably all over the country. That itself is enough to tell you, I don't know if it's not like you got Sergeant, Secretary of War or some guy, some upstanding. Oh, they're not in there. Why do we have these half-wits that are easily paid off, easily sold out, running our election counting? That's the problem right there.
Right. No, I listen, I don't disagree with your premise. What I'm saying is what X22 put out there is that in probably the next 2 months before September comes out, and I believe that's a good viable scenario.
Well, yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And I think that what X22, Dave, is saying, he's suggesting in some ways that this timetable of exposure will be brought forth right around the time that we get into September, where the primary heat up and debate to show you the truth about what went on in LA, what went on in Sacramento, what went on in multiple states of, let's just say, what happened in California in general. And this expose will lead to not just arrest, but the possibility. And I've been saying this left and right. Are we about to see a timetable where the elections will not happen this November? Could there be a stay based upon the relevant information that is going to be, let's just say, uncovered? Could there be a stay? I think there are many people suggesting in some way we're not going to have an election, 2026 midterms. And a lot of people use that as President Trump is just, he's a dictator and he's putting his thumb on the scale and this all this stuff. I ask you right now, if rampant fraud is covered in California, how can you push forward just in that state? I'm not just talking about it in that state. Pass the Save America Act. Now, we know President Trump today inside the Oval Office has now verbally said, I support and I put my hand on Susan Collins. So now she's going forward to be his legitimate nomination against Graham Plantner, and that guy is a fucking train wreck. But yet the Democrats are going full tilt because they want to bring her down in so many ways. And now today, Susan Collins says, I'm working with the Republicans, the majority group, because they got 50 votes to pass Save America Act. They are now going to what? Go back to the original written document as it was supplanted, to come in there and say, hey, look, we can pass this with just a simple majority of 51 or 50 tied, and then someone comes in by the name of the vice president and have a sweeping tie vote. And now Collins is now saying, I'm all in. So when President Trump says, yeah, I'm supporting her, I'm backing her, well, Lindsey Graham just won by 60%. Do you think Susan Collins is going by 60%? I don't know. But that candidate in Maine is a fucking lunatic. I mean, they're obviously standing by a Nazi, standing by a guy who's cheated on his wife multiple times, has dick pics all over the place. And there's just so much crazy nuts stuff about this guy that if someone breaks in my house, I want to fuck him like a man. I just don't know who these people are anymore. All right, so I'm moving on. The SPLC scandal gets worse, and it's getting worse every day. I'm just going to jump to this so we can get into the cause and the cure. SPLC allegedly spent $4 million bankrolling extremists while simultaneously becoming the go-to source for determining which organizations are hate groups, thanks in part to Joe Biden. Files obtained by America First Legal last year, according to Daily Signal, revealed that Biden, DOJ's close relationship with the SPLC, the Department Civil Rights Division, frequently met with the civil rights group. Can you believe that? Granted it unprecedented access to the federal law enforcement data and allowed SPLC employees to train prosecutors. Wow. At the same time, SPLC slapped the hate group label on Family Research Council, Moms for Liberty, Turning Point USA, which helped get Charlie Kirk killed, and Alliance Defending Freedom, while turning a blind eye to the violent organizations like Jane's Revenge, an extremist pro-abortion group that vandalized crisis pregnancy centers and churches after Roe v. Wade was overturned. If not for the greatest president in our lifetime, Donald J. Trump, the Justice Department, SPLC, might have pulled off the oldest racket in the book. Manufacture a crisis, pose it as a cure, and the most importantly, monetize the operation. After Charlottesville, the SPLC's revenue reportedly jumped $51,871,438 to $133. That is an increase by almost $62 million. That's a mafia-style hustle that would make Al Capone blush. I got a lot on this. So let me just lay this out when we get Marshall's talking points, because this makes me sick. The SPLC not only fosters and promulgates and pushes the race hustling narrative, they promulgate so many different other divisions, which really bothers me. They push professional black grievance entrepreneurs, cult activists. They're all about what? The race hustling, the crowdfunding for opportunists, pushing forth, as we see what's going to happen, or what is continuing to happen with the Carmelo Anthony scenario. They're going to try and get this kid out in about 5 months to next year. They're trying to do that. But I guarantee you right now, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. He was convicted by a jury of his peers. What are they going to find? That you had 3 Hispanics, 1 Indian, 1 Muslim, and 1 Asian broad, or some way that jury was tainted in some way. They're trying to get this kid out, and they're going to raise super funds about it. Much more big and prevailing what we're seeing. Let me show you this, because this is what bothers me. So NPR put this out. I'm just going to show you this real quickly, and then I'm going to go through my diatribe. So here we are right now. So this came out in April of 2026. Southern Poverty Law Center indicted on federal fraud charges. Now, there's a superseding indictment that is happening right now. The Southern Poverty Law Center was indicted on Tuesday. Federal fraud charges alleging what? It improperly raised millions of dollars to secretly pay leaders of the Ku Klux Klan and other hate groups for inside information. According to acting attorney Todd Blanche. I'll leave it at there, because look, as I break this down, as I go through the schematics of all this stuff, you need to understand what this is, and we're going to show you videos left and right. Let me show you a little bit of my compromise of information. SPLC had not only inflated, they exaggerated, they embellished, they magnified and amplified. Let me be clear. They exaggerated, embellished, magnified, and amplified threats for donations while secretly prepping or propping up the very radicals, zealots, firebrands, and fringe elements that they tracked. Keep that in mind. They paid Ku Klux Klan members who wanted to dip out but yet stay active as informants. There was also allegations that romantic partnerships, Twix in some way, that existed between the SPLC employees and informants, and those funds were utilized for living expenses. They played hide the banana in the SPLC that no one can see. What I'm trying to say here right now is that what we're witnessing and understanding is that this hate machine was promulgating the very existence of why we're living in this red jar, black jar, ant jar. You understand? Someone is there holding it up and shaking it. And we're pitted against each other. We don't have to be. We don't have to be riled up. We don't have to hate each other. But clearly we have to defend ourselves against the grievance entrepreneurs, a black culture that is basically just, they cannot get past themselves of the grift and graft of reparations. Where's our reparations over the decades, maybe over the century of being murdered, raped, and killed by blacks? Are we ever going to get that? Well, I would settle for that. We basically dim the population out, wither the population out, thin it out, grow us up and move this out in some way, whether they're incarcerated, whether they're put down. I mean, at this point, I don't really care. With what happened with Carmelo Anthony, this is just a prima facie case, an example that we have to basically look at. This is not just about what? Good Samaritanism, vigilantism, that there has to be an American justice to satisfy the satiated quench of what people feel. Because if you don't want people in the street shooting each other, killing each other over race or over ebonics or over what? Justice that should be implemented, that is always bifurcated, because of the fact is there's a certain group of people that find their way to illustrate and orchestrate and interrupt the process because they are the grievance entrepreneurs. This time around, it's coming to an end. It is happening in the UK, it's happening in Ireland, and it's happening all over. Let me show you what is happening right now. Now, I'm not an Alveda King, Dr. Alveda King, tearing into Southern poverty law. I'm not, put it this way. Charlie Kirk is right about who her nephew was or whatever, about Dr. Martin Luther King. He was a communist, a social, he was a wife abuser, is a serial cheater. He had many different, let's just put it, problems. And I'm not going to sit here and knock her. She seems like a decent woman with a good heart. And I'm not going to attack her. But MLK, I got no problem attacking him because he was already on the FBI's wanted list for a lot of different reasons. But she says this in the meeting about SPLC. So we're sitting here right now watching the name of Dr. Martin Luther King be espoused by, I guess, is this the aunt, the niece of Dr. Martin Luther King, pointing out certain things. Let's listen.
Reflects the very truth that America is strongest when we recognize our common humanity. My grandmother's family came from the west coast of Africa. My grandfather's family came from Ireland. My mother's family included Cherokee roots. I have spent my entire life living the reality that America is not a collection of competing tribes. America is one people under God. That is why I am troubled by the conduct and messaging of organizations that claim to fight hatred while profiteering from division. Recent allegations.
Let me just say that right now, that she called out the SPLC for what? Profiteering and orchestrating a facilitation of an end-around deal to create this phony scenario of race rioting, race rhetoric, race hatred in some way. So the SPLC is involved with so many different games that is what? Facilitating this justification. The SPLC is also involved with the Carmelo Anthony scenario in raising funds. Don't get that twisted. And here we are right now that Alveda King is putting this out there, calling them out for who they are.
Reportedly contained in a federal superseding indictment raised serious questions about the Southern Poverty Law Center's activities. Individuals associated with organizations the SPLC itself labeled as extremists or hate groups allegedly received substantial payments over many years. The indictment shares of payments totaling hundreds of thousands and in some cases more than $1 million to sources connected to white supremacist, neo-Nazi, and Ku Klux Klan.
This is a black organization with black attorneys. The SPLC paid $4 million to the KKK. They raised hundreds of millions telling their donors they were dismantling the KKK, the Klan, and the Nazis, whilst simultaneously, behind the scenes, they allegedly wired millions to Klan and Nazi figures for robes, rallies, and what? Recruitment. It's an embarrassment. They're a stage organized fucking group, a front that is what? Making sure that they, what? Lay claim out there to get us the red ant, black ant, put us in a jar and shake this up. That's what they were doing. The SPLC was putting us in that fixture in some way. And Dr. Alveda King is calling them out for what? Race hustling, race rioting, the creation of fomenting a race war. Good for her. I got a lot of props for what she said, and she's on target.
Organizations.
Good for her. Let's continue. I got more. We'll get Marshall's thoughts in a minute. Andrew Colvin puts this out because there's a lot of stuff in the hearing on the Hill yesterday. This was good. I like this. So I'm not a big Chip Roy guy, but Chip Roy had his moments. Chip Roy was going to run for attorney general. President Trump said, nah, in Texas, yeah, I'm not going to support you. Just go away. The CEO of SPLC, Brian Fair, confirms to Chip Roy that the disgrace organization stands by its May 2025 decision to add TPUSA to a tape map, which got Charlie Kirk killed. Should they be indicted? I mean, why aren't we looking at them? Let's continue.
With respect to Charlie Kirk, have you all taken any position since Charlie Kirk?
Mr. Roy, we unequivocally condemned the murder of Charlie Kirk.
What about the listing of Charlie Kirk?
It is our position that TPUSA expresses views and vilifies other people based on immutable characteristics.
Immutable characteristics. What does that mean?
Listing.
Mr. Chairman, I have a couple of unanimous consent requests. I have several documents here. November 2025 hate watch from the Southern Property Law Center, in which hearing you is.
I don't understand what immutable. See, what they're trying to say is as simply is that the context of his, let's just say, theories and analysis is what it is that it's unjustifiable. And the fact is that they can't accept how he's breaking down his philosophical arguments. So they're posing another supposition and suggesting in some way Charlie Kirk is doing an end around of all this stuff to blindly convince you that black people are this, black people are that. He never said any of that stuff. I'm going to show you some more. So here is more from the House of Representatives on yesterday. There was so much good stuff yesterday. I wish I would have got to it. But Alveda King on Charlie Kirk. I was able to make some peace with Kirk before he was killed because he said some bad things about my uncle. Let me tell you something right now. Charlie Kirk was 100% spot on about her uncle. He was a communist. He was a womanizer. He had drug problems, alcohol problems. This guy, how did this guy become what? Oh, we got to coalesce, and it's not about the content of the character. Maybe you should have used that orchestration facilitation on yourself. The hypocrisy and opportunism of Dr. Martin Luther King no longer exists anymore in our world. Our culture is broken. We have now made sure that we broke that thing off in his ass. He is dead. And all these other people that want to say that, look, we're now in a tribal war, I say we are. And if you want to chimp out, we'll make sure that you can chimp out in a way that you're not going to chimp out anymore. We are no longer going to allow your discord to fucking kill us, hurt us, maim us, react to us, because I don't want to coalesce. I don't want to unify. I don't want to have anything to do with you. And I don't care what Dr. Alveda King says. That's all good for her, that she found some type of recompense with, they found some recoil with Charlie Kirk. The bottom line is simply most Americans, white Americans right now, European Americans right now, don't like migrants, don't like immigrants that are brown and black persuasion, and we're sick of the black people in this fucking country because they think they can get away with murder. I'm sick of all of you. If there was an opportunity, we could move you out of this country or snap a finger and disappear you like something from the Infinity War, I would be all for it. Maybe we should make abortion only for what? Black people. Consider that, because I'm tired of this bullshit. And the reality is, and I'm going to say it really simply, and you need to understand this in some way. That's how you control crime and population. As Hillary Clinton once said, as a Democrat, we need to bring these fuckers to heel. Was she so wrong about it? Well, they've lost control because they decided to find a new, let's just say, persuasion, invasion to vote for. Let's listen to this.
Work, didn't you?
I did know Charlie Kirk.
And his work, like your work, was about love, people getting along, but it was also about teaching of the benefits of faith, wasn't it?
I was able to make some peace with Charlie before he was killed because he said some bad things about my uncle.
Oh, too bad!
I said, Charlie, but one of the last things Charlie said to an African-American young man, he says, our DNA makes us the same, not the skin. Charlie actually said that. And he publicly apologized at a meeting where I was.
If our DNA makes us the same, why do we have such cultural differences in our norms? While one group of species is so violent that they can't handle any rhetoric and blowback. And yet we're the same. We're not the same. We were never the same. We're not raised the same way. Our culture, our intelligence, we are not the same. We may be human to a lesser degree, but we are not the same. You are not you. You are not I, and I am not you. And I don't want to be you. I thank God every day I'm white, and if it ain't white, it ain't right. Because think about that. Let's continue.
So Charlie was not an angel. I'm definitely not an angel. President Trump, Biden, Obama. Angels, please raise your hand right now if you're out there.
There's no angels.
However, it's misguided compassion that brings us here today. It is misguided compassion that puts me on a domestic terrorist list. I think that is very unfair. And old people like me giving money to SPLC and then calling me later, oh my God, they believe in it's okay to cut a.
So she admitted giving money to them. And then she's put on a terrorist watch list because she didn't like it. And now she's pushing back about that because she wants to understand why she was put on a watch list, because she gave money to a donor that is what? Is basically fostering domestic terrorism. That's the point. And that's why she's here. Don't get it twisted. She's not here because of, I got to make right with my uncle. I got to make right with Charlie Kirk. She's there because she donated to them. And then they lied to her about that. And then the backlash of all that stuff came reverberating around that she found herself on a watch list because she was a donor to what? Contributing to domestic black terrorism. Keep that in mind, Marshall.
Yeah. Look, I will say this.
See what I'm saying here? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I want to say this piece here.
Say it. Say it.
Right time. This is the right time to say it. And that is, all right, over the last year, we have talked about President Trump and all of his team and all of us geographically dividing the world up into a different puzzle.
Locational.
Different territories. You have your neighborhood, we have ours, bada, bada, bada. Well, in my opinion, Brett, I think we are going to do the same with humans.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, the tribes are going to be put back where they belong. I believe that. I believe that they should be. And look, everybody knows now, the normies out there all over the internet today, after this thing with this kid, Carmelo, all the normie white people are going, man, I didn't know that these people were so racist that they hated white people this much. And now they're going around.
Well, they hate us. They hate
Yeah.
us.
Now
That's
they're
why I
going
didn't
now.
care about Avita King. I don't have anything negative to say, but she donated to SPLC, and then she found herself on a watch list because she supported a domestic terrorist organization, contributing to what? The falsification and the narratives of what? Raising money and supporting what? The Ku Klux Klan. They raised hundreds of millions of dollars, and her donations help support that. And that she's only there to cover her ass and say, wait a minute, I thought my money was going to this, not to that. And do I believe her? Possibly. I'm not going to throw her under the bus. She makes good, astute points. But the idea is that she's labeling out the exaggeration, the embellishment, the magnification, and amplification that was told to the donors, that was inflated to prop them up, that they were going after the radicals, the zealots, the firebrands, the fringe elements, and the extremists that they were tracking while simultaneously using her money to help facilitate and orchestrate more what? Domestic terrorism based upon that narrative. Please continue.
Yeah, I want to add to that. I do think that the races are going to be tribally put back to where they belong. I do believe that. The other thing that I believe is that this whole thing with the violence, somebody reminded me of it. Yeah, we're raising a bunch of idiots. This is another problem. We are not, look, if you have white kids or grandkids in public schools, you need to get them out of there, because all they're doing is they're getting beat up, they're getting harassed. The teachers don't give a shit about them. We are today's reprobate. The white people are today's reprobates. Everybody is against you. You have to understand that's a fact. And I also believe that right now, Elon Musk is starting to talk about this. I think there's a reason that Elon Musk is in this country and he's in the high level of visibility that he's in. He's from South Africa. I think that South Africa is here now. We are South Africa now because they're going out trying to kill us.
And I agree that I have no problem importing all white South Africans that have been in some way attacked, murdered, maimed, what have you. We need to bring all those farmers in, give them plots of land, and allow them to what? Cook. I'm all for it. I'm all in that as we move and extricate out all the brown and black North Africans and all the other fucking illegal rot scum, Mexicans, South Americans. I don't fucking care. That do nothing, that basically are a waste of our time, that murder, rape, and torture in some way. But I think the fix is on. We have to fix our black problem. We have to fix our black culture. It's only going to increase. And I can tell you right now, if the Knicks lose this game 4 or game 5, New York's going to blow up. I hope it blows up. I am telling you, I can't wait for New York to blow up. It impales on itself, move the National Guard in, and then sweep ICE behind the scenes and let them just fucking pick up the filth and the rot. I left that fucking city, state a long time ago. I fucking hate New York. I hate New Yorkers that come down here. I lived on the east coast of Florida. I had to deal with these fucking cocksuckers that think that bada bing, bada boom, bada bits. Fuck you. I wasn't scared of you. All these fucking people are all tough guys and stuff. I dealt with it in Palm Beach. And everybody's like moving there because it's whatever. I'm just sick of all of it. I don't want your shit here. Don't come to Tampa. Don't come to Florida. Fucking move somewhere else. Go and protection witness in fucking Arizona. I don't fucking care anymore. I'm just sick of you. I'm sick of the bullshit. I don't even care that you're from New York. I just hate the fact is that I have to hear you bitching and moaning because you're, like communists and socialism, but you fucking elected the motherfucker. All right? You should have been out years ago. No one I know, okay, stayed. They left even before Giuliani fucking went fucking full battalion on everybody. He went hardcore on blacks, Puerto Ricans, illegals, and he did it the right way. Because you know why? They're always what? Illegally carrying. They're looking to start wars. He lowered crime in a way. Crime is just out of control because they don't care about you. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Fuck New York. Make it a penal colony. Make California get out. Get out.
Look at what Brett, real quick. They have been asking for reparations for what? Last 20, 25 years. They've ramped that shit up.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, Brett. What have the costs been for having these people living right in our neighborhoods, living right with us? What have the costs been? How many white people have been murdered? How much has they cost? How much has it cost to keep these people incarcerated? How much money have we spent on welfare for these people? And it goes on and on. They would end up.
No, I agree. I agree. I just gotta play it. I know. I agree with you. Don't get me started. I got so much more.
The Southern Poverty Law Center used donor money to have field sources attend extremist rallies across the country.
I'm only playing a little bit.
It's a simple question. Did you use your donor money for that purpose?
Did you?
We used donor money.
It's a yes or no?
Paid confidential informants to infiltrate extremist organizations.
Did the Southern Poverty Law Center use donor dollars to have field sources host extremist rallies throughout the country?
Not to my knowledge.
That's not what the indictment says. Did the Southern Poverty Law Center use donor dollars to have field sources grow existing chapters of extremist groups?
Mr. Chairman, as I said earlier...
It's a simple question, Mr. Fair. Did you use donor money for the purpose I just read? I'm reading straight from the superseding indictment.
And Mr. Chairman, the indictment
that was May 17th
and responded to by counsel in the criminal case that's
Well, you just answered a question from Mr. Raskin concerning the indictment. He asked you, did field sources send information to the FBI that help with things? You answered that question.
That's a matter of public knowledge. That's in our public filing.
Did the Southern Poverty Law Center use donor money to have field sources create new chapters of extremist groups?
Again, Mr. Chairman.
Did the Southern Poverty Law Center use donor money to recruit new individuals into those extremist groups?
I assume you don't want me to answer since you're not giving me time to answer.
No, I'm giving you time to answer because that's a yes or did you use your donors' money for that purpose? Yes or no?
Again, those issues will be resolved in the pending allegations against the SPLC.
It seems to me if the answer is no, you could say no.
So the point is that everything that Jim Jordan was asking him, they don't want to respond, even though it's in the superseding indictment, and they don't want to incriminate themselves in some way. He should have took the fifth, but it's already in the superseding indictment, so they don't want to hedge their bets as they're moving on. Let's continue. I got to move on. This is a good one. Congressman Brandon Gill. This guy's on fire. This guy's on fire in Texas. Should someone with a Nazi tattoo serve in the Senate? Well, he's running against what? He just won his election handily in Maine.
I'm not an expert on tattoos. No, I don't.
Okay. I can give you a little bit of background. This is a tattoo on Maine Democrat Senate candidate Grand Plattner's
I thought we were the
chest.
Nazis.
That's the Nazi SS death head tattoo.
I thought Republicans are Nazis. I thought we were all Nazis. I think we support Trump. We're Nazis. We're racist. We're fascists. But yet, overwhelmingly in Maine, a guy with a fucking Nazi tattoo wins them handily, like 60, 70%, beats out the Democrat candidate in the primary, and they're all supporting him. This guy has marital issues, sexting issues, a lot of other issues. He's got problems, and it's going to get ugly, and it's going to get virulent, and it's going to be profound. This race in the Senate, in the primary, is going to get heated, and look out.
Do you have any opinions on that?
If it's what you say, if it's a Nazi symbol, we oppose Nazis.
We oppose, I agree, we do oppose Nazis. Do you think if somebody got a Nazi tattoo on their chest, that's indicative that they might be a Nazi?
You'd have to ask Mr. Plattner why he has that symbol. I've already said that if it is a symbol of Nazism, we oppose Nazis.
You don't think that that's indicative that perhaps he holds Nazi sentiments?
It may well be.
It may well be. I think, do people who aren't Nazis normally get Nazi tattoos on their chest?
Again, I assume they don't.
You assume they don't? I would assume so too. I don't know anybody who's not a Nazi. I don't know anybody who has a Nazi tattoo on their chest, but is not a Nazi. Do you?
No.
Interesting
Do you think
conversation.
that somebody who has a Nazi tattoo on their chest should serve in the United States Senate?
I wouldn't vote for that person.
I certainly wouldn't either.
Uh-oh.
Do you think that this should disqualify him politically from serving in the Senate?
Again, I'm not sure where the line of questions is going. The SPLC, if you're asking me, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
If you're asking me if the SPLC opposes Nazis and Nazi symbols, the answer is yes.
Yep. The SPLC is referred to this same tattoo as a racist skinhead symbol and tattoo. You can see the resemblance there.
So the SPLC is basically saying Graham Planter or Platner, whatever it is now the Democrat candidate to run for Maine senatorial candidacy, okay, against Susan Collins. And then the SPLC, which is the guardrail, in some way saying, hey, look, that guy, we would never support. And how anybody could support him is problematic. The Democrats are shooting themselves in the foot. They are self-immolating right before your eyes. And they basically said, we're going all in with this guy. But the SPLC is saying, yeah, there's no way we could support this guy. And anybody that supports him is what? They're a racist. You see the reverse racism and how it's flipping on a dime. Let me continue more. I gotta get into a couple other things before we dip out. I don't even want to, you know what? I'll just move on from Platner. I don't even want to talk about Platner in so many ways. Let me get to the meat of stuff that is happening right now. Yeah, okay. Let's get to this because we're running out of time, and I've been going over my time, so I apologize. And let me say a couple of things out there. To who? Yes, thank you, One Thunder for the cookie. Thank you for being here. Senor Polo gifted the shades. Let's be violent when a bunch of millionaires lose a game. One Thunder again for the cookie. Darla gifted the can. Bring back Nose Ratchet. They've done flown over the cuckoo's nest. Yep, it's all gone. Yeah, thank you, Darla, for the can. Free drugs, free roam, clean needles. Created the crap. Poor people were like bugs to the light. Open borders supplied them with. Yeah, it's pretty sad in some way with the drugs. You know what? How I feel about how they're extorting all the homeless and all these other push pimps, needle pimps in some way. I mean, am I saddened for them in some way? Well, they're getting paid. I mean, do they lose anything in this matter? Well, they're not helping them. They're not trying to, in some way, protect them. They're not giving them, in some way, counsel. They're not affording them anything. They're just giving $2, some cigarettes, and a blowjob. I mean, seriously, it's embarrassing how they use these people. But I think Spencer Pratt is 100% right. These people are here for a reason, and they're not from California. They're from all over the place, and we need to get them and send them back to Seattle, Oregon, or all these places they came from. So Blaze Media puts it out. You can't look in my eyes, but you can stab my fucking son, Austin Metcalf. His dad, this came out yesterday. I didn't cover it. He said after Carmelo Anthony was found guilty Tuesday of murdering Austin Metcalf and stabbing a Frisco, Texas high school track meet in 2025, same jury sentenced him to 35 years. Okay, whatever. But since the day he first grabbed my finger, he had my heart with it. Metcalf said, according to the station, we added the elder Metcalf, also spoke about the joy. Jeff Metcalf also said in a public response that his son's murder was sickening. KDFW reported that he also said he was targeted for 6 swatting calls and victim's mother. With a gag order, I can't defend myself. When people want to tear down my son's memory, the time is over. Jeff Metcalf added, according to the station, I said, from day one, this was never about race. It was always about race. He's being polite. But I give him that. He's grieving. Remember, we got to trust the grieving wife of Charlie Kirk. This man is grieving about his loss of his son, who's a twin. But yet, I digress. It is about race. It will always be about race. That nigger killed a white kid because he was white. He stabbed him straight up. It's black and white. It's not because he wasn't raised right. Yes. It's not because of this or not because of that. It's straight up what we're seeing. The politics, the culture, the scenario we live in. We're in a tribal war. Get ready to repel borders and face your reality. You're going to have to do it. You might not want to do it. Actually, I might feel good about it. It's about right and wrong. Nah, I mean, yes and no in some way, but I really do believe that the apathetic retardedness of the youth in some way is based upon the fact is that they can't read and write. They have no subculture. There's no grandmother, no grandfather, no father, no dad. And that they're raised by what? Their element of the people they run with, like a pack of herd or wild animals. So they only see what they do. And what they do is they invite violence and they assimilate in that manner. So right and wrong uses a perspective of cognitive dissonance, but I don't believe they actually have the cognitive, let's just say, understanding of what they did until after they faced the consequences. So right and wrong, okay, is a dissociation. He knew what he was doing. He killed him because he was white. He knew exactly. His mindset was, I'm going to kill this white boy. Don't get this twisted. Don't get this dissolved. We are all humans. No. All right. We are not all the same. We all bleed the same color.
Just like Irina.
I don't buy that. You will face these consequences starting today. Anthony is black. Metcalf is white. Keep that in mind. Jeff Metcalf also spoke directly to Anthony. The KFW reported, you failed your parents, yourself, and your society. Let me tell you right now, this kid was a failed experiment the day he was born. His parents failed him. His parents, they were too busy raising money. They didn't care. They didn't raise it. They didn't know what he was. Until they got rich, they don't care. And they're going to get proffering more money off of his what? Appeal, and as they do the grievance in entrepreneurship. My son's death destroyed the person I used to be. My father added, according to that. Jeff Metcalf added, people think grief is sadness. It is not. It is rage. I agree with that. Pure, unfiltered rage. Yeah, I do. If that was my kid, I would want to rip off the fucking head of Carmelo Anthony and shit down his neck. You have no idea. And the rage that we feel is because they raise money to gloat, to promote, to promulgate his death and saying, oh, we're going to do this to protect him when he murdered this kid. That's why there was such pushback, that they were raising money in this grievance venue. And I'll get to that. He said, slamming his fist on the table, his voice raising. The rage father said, he added, Anthony, you can look in my eyes, but you can stab my fucking son. With that, the judge motioned to prosecutor Bill Worski about cursing. Indeed, a reporter said, video called Jeff Metcalf's impact statement full of rage and noted the judge had the prosecutor and bailiff step in. Although Metcalf was allowed to finish reading his impact statement. Let me put it this way. Yes, he should have been sentenced to life in jail, but I have a glimmer of hope that this kid is going to face a dire strait of rectal bleeding pain, and it could cause his death. And I believe it's going to happen. He's not going to last, and I don't care about that he's filed some type of appeal. We're going to cover that in some way. I just want to say this in some way. I'm going to show this, and we'll get Marshall's take. So this came out the other day. I got to move forward because I had so much other things that I wanted to do. But again, this is, really important. Let's cover it. Here it is.
Fucking chimp right here killed a white child and has gained millions of fucking supporters. All of them being niggers, of course. I'm going to say, Black supremacy is the most dangerous ideology in this fucking world.
Based.
And the whole Carmelo Anthony and the whole Rick Chow thing just tells you these people are fucking brain dead niggers. The thing they don't get is when you be a nigger, you get consequences like jail time or being killed. Either one of those. Black people think they can get away with every fucking thing and protest about it when they get the consequences. It does not fucking work that way anymore like it did in 2020 when y'all were being ass kissed by every fucking person on this planet. Nobody gives a fuck about you niggers anymore. We want y'all gone. including us black people. We want
So this association that is now forming between black people and niggers, that is growing. And white people are calling out the consternation and divide. As we've been divided, as we have been put on this trollop and this whole thing with Trump and everything, we're all Nazis and all this stuff, where you can clearly see the divide is right before us. And we need to fucking put the stake in there and end this. End this once and for all. And I'm glad black people are chiming into the scenario, because listen, the more and more they're affected by this, the more and more it blows back onto them. The niggers that are out there that are committing violent acts are affecting them in a lot of ways that they don't want to be a part of. All right. They don't want to be a part of the culture. They don't want to be associated with this. They actually want to have, let's just say, some type of friendship and allegiance with white people. They just don't want to be associated of being monsters and rapists and all these other things. And I think that's what people need to call out. But you're not seeing too many of them. Too many race hustlers, race baiters. You have too many people right now in this culture of professional black entrepreneurs, grievance-driven, cult activists. It's about raising funds through sites like GoFundMe, Venmo. It's all about the exploitation, crowdfunding, opportunism. It's all about that. And she's calling this out, and I think it's fantastic.
you fuckers gone. The Rick Chow thing, Asian people have every fucking right to hate y'all. They've been hating y'all since the beginning of time, and I can honestly sympathize with them. Because you people go into their stores and fucking steal. You terrorize them. You've been beating their fucking grandmothers up for the past fucking years. What the fuck happened to Asian Lives Matter? Everybody remembers it all died down because niggers were the ones committing the crimes against Asians. I'm just gonna say one more thing. Niggers, you see every fucking race is fucking tired of you. You cannot keep boycotting everything that goes against your fuck-ass culture. You can't boycott every fucking race. You can't boycott every fucking thing. You have to realize it's y'all. It's you niggers that keep fucking up your own image. It's not Asian people because you were attacking them. It's not white people because y'all are actively fucking killing them. Y'all are killing black people too. And y'all don't really give a fuck about that. Mexicans are tired of y'all. Ashley Gonzalez, beautiful mention right there. Women like her, we need more of her. Just gonna say that. You can't boycott everything because everybody's fucking tired of y'all shit. It's time y'all fucking change or we will do something about it.
Yeah, and I think so. And I think that's the awakening that we're going to see of how the separation of our cultures are. There are going to be more and more black people that are going to want to stomp this out. They don't want this, let's just say, nestled around their neck like an albatross. They don't want to continue on with this. They don't want to be held accountable and liable because, excuse me, they deem certain people of their culture, as she was suggesting, as niggers, and they don't want to be hog-tied to that in some way. And I think that the prevalence of this discussion is going to continue to rear its ugly head and peek back into the future. And I think what really people need to understand, they need to process this in some way. We're not all the same. We're never going to be all the same. But if you want peace, you got to find a way to mend fences. But there's no glaring, let's just say, arbitration or mediation that is going to give me some comfort that I can say that, hey, we can move on from this without any reparations of what has been done for the last 40 years, what has been done for the last 10 years and 20 years. In my mindset, we'll always be looking over a shoulder, carrying pack to the till, because we can no longer trust them, even though it's beneficial to having some peace accord. But that a peace accord will only be demonstrated by how much these people are going to be prosecuted, incarcerated, and convicted, and maybe even executed for the crimes, that have committed retroactively or in the past. The idea that Carlos Brown gets a 4-month reprieve from the murder of Irina Zaritska, because he's got to go in there and be MK Ultra to get his facsimile and his faculties in order so they can turn it into another weaponized Winter Soldier. Fuck that. Send him to Canada. Let's euthanize the motherfucker. His human life as an existence no longer matters. He is murdered and killed, and he has assaulted people. There is no what. When do we decide that it's necessary to just give up on people? When is it necessary? Where you've committed so many crimes, like Jeffrey Dahmer. Oh, no one cared that he got stabbed to death in jail. He ate people. Well, there's a lot of people that ate people. My point is to simply, when do we decide enough's enough? Why is this motherfucker allowed to roam the streets and the countryside as a monster? Why isn't anybody killed this motherfucker? Just run him over. Your thoughts, Marshall?
Yeah, everything she said was all well and fine. But the bottom line is she needs to take care of her own country. We gave them Liberia many years ago, many years ago. We gave the slaves Liberia. They turned it into a shithole. Look it up. Maybe she should go there and turn it into Wakanda. We're beyond the point, or I am at least, beyond the point of reconciliation with these people. That is the bottom line. I have lived it my whole life. My whole neighborhood was taken over by Section 8. We were the last white people to leave, Brett, before they killed my mother's poodle a week before Mother's Day. And that is when my father said, we're out of here. And he bought this 3-acre land right on the water and built his dream home, and he had to leave it. So for me, fuck you. Fuck you and die.
Yeah, I agree. I understand what that young lady is talking about and stuff. She goes, she doesn't want to associate with being a nigger. She's like, that's what gives black people, decent black people that are not violent, that just want to coalesce, that want to work together in some way. Well, that's kind of a hard sticking point to walk back. I think at this point, I don't think anybody can trust them. I don't really care that the idea in some way that you want to suggest that it's okay that we can point out all these other scenarios in some way. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant in so many different ways in some way, is that white people are finding ways to bifurcate themselves, separate themselves. I don't want any attachments. I don't want to be your friend. And I think the unfortunate scenario, what Alveda King finds herself in, is that she was donating to SPLC, all right, as she says, or she claims that unbeknownst to me, that my money was going to what? Fund this type of what? Domestic terrorism and what? Continue on this proliferation in some way to attack white people, to call them this and that in some way. And that you didn't know this until you were put on a watch list because you were on the donor list in some way until they were brought to heel. You know, it's so funny that Democrats like Hillary Clinton say, we got to bring niggers to heel in some way. I wonder why Democrats feel that way. Is because if you don't control them, they chimp out. It's a lesson learned. We're not here in some way anymore for arbitration or mediation in some way. We're here for survival, and that's it. And I don't want in any way to break bread. I don't want unification. I don't want to assimilate with them. I don't want them assimilating with me. And I think at this point, our culture is completely damned to what? To what we're seeing right now that is happening in Ireland. I'm going to show you. Thank you, Wood USA, for the 709 gold pills. Need more gold pill lows. Support the boys' dream. So Carmelo Anthony, again, launches an appeal against his 35 years in prison. How quaint and what a shocker. And that'll take about almost 9 months to a year to get that type of information. Let me just play you this before we dip out. And I want to be clear about what I'm showing you in some ways so you can understand this. I think how we perceive certain things in some way, what's going on in Belfast, what's going on in the UK. We're lucky we're not here right now. We had it in 2020. We're lucky right now because I think there is some type of denunciation, financial cutoff, that the opportunity for these people to continue on with this grift and graft, this professional grievance pimp operation is over. So, yes, there are hiccups with Antifa and what we're seeing at ICE facilities. I don't know why they're quelled, but ultimately, in some way, what is going on in Belfast? My Irish brethren, okay, my heritage, my God, what is happening? It is disgusting.
But there was one voice note that stood out. Before Richard
And they're
Tice, wherever
fucking
you
paying
are,
back
just pin back
justice.
your logos. This was Rob.
Morning, Jez. On my way to work, as normal. Listening to you talk about the thing that happened in Belfast last night, all the unrest. Well, yes, rightly, you shouldn't condone what happened. What else have people got to do? They're not listening. The political class are not listening. These people who are coming over here illegally, they're rapists, terrorists. They're coming over here. It's literally like putting a wolf in a sheep field. You are giving them a target-rich environment. You haven't vetted them. You've done nothing. All you've done is dump them in a place where they can wreak havoc. Where they come from, guess what? There's no law. If they can do literally whatever they like. They come over here, there's lawyers, of course, taxpayer funded. They get a nice cushy home, running water, Sky TV, gym memberships, bus passes. They can literally go where they want and create havoc. And when they do, the people that foisted them upon us, guess what? They say, don't get upset. Don't do anything. Don't go out and cause unrest. Well, I'll tell you what, mate. Stop reaping, then you might not have to sow it. Because this country is absolutely on the edge. They cannot take much more of people getting stabbed, raped, blown up, you name it. You foisted it upon us for the last 25, 30 years. Ever since Blair said, I'm going to rub your noses in it. Well, guess what? What goes round comes round. And I think the political class have got a very, very, very big smack on the nose coming.
They may have a smack on the nose. There's a lot of people suggesting in some way that the red ant, black ant scenario, put in the charge, shake it up, and let them go at it, will be a period of time until the government comes in, steps in, and wants to remove these people and then implement such, let's just say, draconian laws. CBDC, all big. I mean, all these different rules and laws, massive surveillance, and all these things that are going to be draconian to the people in some way. That they will say, "Hey, look, you want your freedom, you want to live in peace and stuff. We'll give it to you. All right, just surrender, and then we'll augment all this stuff to this level." There's a possibility that has been set up in place, and I agree with that. Thank you, Theo, for the 1,000 gold pills, 1 thunder for the cookie, Senor Apollo for the shades. Let's be violent when a bunch of millionaires lose a game. Absolutely. What I'm trying to say is, in some way, is that this thing was set up for another scenario. All right, just like we're dealing with the data centers and stuff like that, we're going into a surveillance state. A surveillance state, a Minority Report, that's what they're setting up Ireland and the UK into, even though it's already like that. And they might come in there saying, swinging their dicks and say, hey, yeah, we made a mistake. We're going to remove all the filth and rot. But listen, you have to surrender completely to the state. And this is what's going to happen. I believe there's an argument and a discussion. That's how they juxtapose this and set this up in some way. But I think right now, regardless, nevertheless, and nonetheless, their response is not only proportional, it should be more accelerated. I do believe so. And I believe that, yeah, burn it all down. I mean, honestly, they did that in 2020, what we're seeing. And this all stems from a fucking guy that's an illegal Sudanese that tried to kill an Irishman by fucking ripping his throat and poking his eye out. If only Americans were that good as Samaritans to utilize the rationale of what? Paul Kersey, of a vigilante. And I think that is what we need in America to solve our problems. More vigilantism, more Good Samaritanism, and that would consecrate a new language and speak for who we are and where we're going, Marshall.
Yeah, it's going to come to that. I mean, there's no doubt. And if it doesn't come to that, it's only because our government or whatever has dealt with it. Because I do believe that there is no way that we can live together. We've tried it for too long, Brett. We've tried it our whole lives. We just cannot live with these people. They are not the same.
A lot of people think like President Trump. I mean, look, President Trump's like brown, black, white and stuff. It's all going to be harming. I don't think so. I never believed that. And I love President Trump. I mean, I think what he's doing is benefiting the country in a lot of ways. I don't know where he's veering off with the rhinos and all these other things and that are happening. I'm allowed to disagree, to agree. I don't really care, but I just don't see brown, black, and white living in harmoniously together. Not anytime soon, and not in my lifetime. That's just the way I feel. And you know what? I don't really fucking care about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's really mainly the black because they have it's that physiognomy. They lack the frontal cortex. The other races generally don't have that.
No, we don't have a problem with Asians, Hispanics per se, unless they're illegals, or Latin Americans, South Americans. But we generally don't have problems with other groups.
Yeah, exactly.
And the question is why? Why is that? Who's feeding the violence? Who's feeding the temperament? SPLC? Obviously, they are. You know, black people have to look at themselves in the mirror and say, who's doing this? Because I want to hear, like that woman was saying, I don't hate white people. Well, if you had more and more black people say that, the question is calling out their tribe that are chipping out, that turn into some monster that roam the streets, that want to kill, murder, and rape. They need to do it more. Is it something of a culture? Is it of a race? Or is it demon possession? Are we spiritually compromised? Could be. I don't know. But it seems to me a lot by one focal group that really gets away with murder all the time.
It's the brain structure, Brett. I mean, it's the brain structure, the lack of the prefrontal cortex. It's been known forever, but they've kept it away. Jimmy the Greek tried to say it back in the day that blacks are more physical and better. They kicked him out. They destroyed that guy. He actually was telling the truth. These people we are different species. There are at least 2 different human species in this world. And I think there's a third that doesn't have human DNA. And that's all over. You can look it up. There's at least two human species.
I agree with that. Thank you, Darla, for the can. Great show, Brett and Marshall. Hog-like71, gift to the cookie. Great show, man. Celebrate the 250. Let's go. Who else is here? Yeah, I drop all the pills. Everybody out there, thank you all for being here. Here you go. Evan Kilgore. I blame myself for Lindsey Graham. I missed this, Donald Trump. I blame myself for Lindsey Graham because the only reason he won in the great state of South Carolina is because I endorsed him. Look at the date, April 8, 2024. And yet he just won by 60% of the majority in South Carolina. Did he win by his own volition, or is it because totally of President Trump's endorsement? I ask you that. And I do believe yes. So why does President Trump find himself involved with all these rhino cucks? I mean, does he have Majority Leader Thune under his thumb, or Barrasso? I don't know. Maybe. But this is the reason why. He's basically telling you, I control Lindsey Graham. He's my wind-up doll. When I want him to suck dick, he sucks dick. When I want him to do this, he does that. But don't thank God, Lindsey Graham, not the Christian God. You know you're preoccupied putting other things in your mouth. Keep the Christian God out of your mouth. The only reason you're there is because of President Trump. And that is our show for tonight. I want to thank everybody out there supporting the channel. I will return on Friday. You can help out Marshall on our way out. Ko-fi.com/SurfDog74. Marshall, your parting thoughts as we dip out tonight. Good show. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it being here. Look, everybody be very careful where you go, where you're at, and what your surroundings are. Because let me tell you, there are people all over the internet, and I've been watching all this shit, that are getting individually attacked by black people. Be very careful. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you, Brett.
Yeah, I think, just be mindful because this is not over. This is not over. And I believe that what we're seeing and how we're understanding this, keep your eye on New York and the rioting, because the excuse of Game 4 and Game 5 if New York, I mean, honestly, New York right now is at a pivotal point. And also that brings and harkens back the last president scenario from Ingersoll Lockwood. And so that's coming back into fold, and we will pick that back up on Friday. So have a great night. Be well, be safe, be smart. Ciao, Bello. Thank you, Marshall. Good night, everybody.